Hi, so I am doing a lesson for fifth grade on endangered species, and I'm going to be teaching them how to find reliable sources, how to cite those sources, um, ways to find your research, coming up with questions first, and then going to your research, what type of websites are okay to use. It will be covering the AASL standards, A11, A22, A41, 42, 43, B41, 42, 43, and C51, 5253. When you do all the lessons, but the main lesson we're going to be focusing on is finding reliable sources. And first, you need to know what you're going to be researching before you can go for your sources. So we're talking about how to brainstorm and how to narrow it down to what we're looking for, which I've got a video of it over here. And then we'll go into how you evaluate resources that are reliable, which this video is really short and simple and sweet, and it helps kids a lot. It's in kid-friendly terms, and so it will help us figure out what are good, reliable sources that we can use. And then I'll go on to ask why it's important to find a reliable source. Why do we need to vet the sources that we're looking at versus just taking everything on the internet? Because if it's on the internet, it's not necessarily true all the time. And I think fighting that power of the social media is a big deal today. And so then knowing what is right and what is wrong, or what is true and what is inaccurate, is something that they'll be able to play later on with the whole fake news issues and stuff like that, so that they know what a reliable source is. Then they can see it later on in life, because they can use these skills in their everyday lives, and figure out what is correct and what is not. And also we'll be talking about the importance of citations. Why do we use citations? I have a video on that. And then just basic citation information. And I'll go into how they can use the Kiddle search engine, which is kid-friendly search engine as well. And when we're going over citations, I know that's something that doesn't necessarily stick with all kids, so I will be giving them this to cite your sources. Just basic rules for citations and stuff like that. So like they have the newspaper, magazine, book, electronic encyclopedia, website, and dictionary, which some of the links that I have on here are to electronic encyclopedias and websites mainly. So those are the ones that they would be mainly looking at. And we'll just talk about how you need to give credit where credit is due, because if not, then you are stealing someone else's work, and that is not what we want to do. And so we're just going to talk about the importance of how we need to vet our sources and how that can help us with any research that we come in our life. And then they have different websites that I will show them, like National Geographic and World Life Flight, that these are good resources to look at, because they're vetted, they're well known, there's scientific evidence behind each of them too, as well as ones that there's also how to research and take notes while you're researching. And so as they're going through, then they can look at the websites that they need to look at, and they will know how to take really good notes, because note taking is a part of life. That's something that they're going to have to go through for the rest, if they go all the way through college and everything. And that's just a skill that they need to learn, is to do good note taking and research. And so I think this whole endangered species lesson, which it would take several days to really do all the lessons, because you have to first teach them like what is research and how do we research, and then citations, and then you can go into their researching and their brainstorming and all that other stuff. But it's very beneficial to them in general, because of just the way that life happens now. And so I think that they would be highly engaged in this as well, because it's something about animals, and it's something that they would be learning and showing their what they have learned in a project, whether it's the research paper or it's the final product of a brochure or a poster or whatever that they've picked. And I think that in the end, they will surprise you with the things that they come up with on how to save endangered species, and surprise you with the ways that they are going to find reliable sources, because they might find more than what's on this board.